Alright, let's go to the English practice for Sunday. So, get over and done with. It's week 49. It's one-page English practice. And it's page 68. It'll be quite short. And now we have a new method where apart from reading the definition, I'm going to also make a sentence with that definition. Try to do it on the spot. It actually forces my brain to focus on definition and the meaning of the definition. So let's try. Arched. An arched roof window or doorway is curved at the top. An arched bridge has arches as part of its structure. A fortified arched bridge spanning the river Severn. The room had arched ceiling, and it wasn't just one arch. There were multiple arches that contain even smaller arches. So overall it looked like a room in the shape of a Michelin mascot. Archaeology. Archer. An archer is someone who shoots arrows using a bow. An archer shot an arrow into the target so strong that it fell apart, that target. Archery. Archery is a sport in which people shoot arrows at a target using a bow. An archer competed in an archery competition, and why this sentence is not very interesting is because that archer at the archery competition didn't win anything. Archetypal. Someone or something that is archetypal has all the most important characteristics of a particular kind of person or thing and is a perfect example of it. Alright, so there are people who are archetypal examples of personality types. So if somebody is INTP, the archetype for that personality is described in psychology literature. This John is archetypal. Cool. Example of INTP. I don't know what I read last. Okay, so archetype. An archetype is something that is considered to be a perfect or typical example of a particular kind or of person or thing, because it has all the most important characteristics. Alright, so a chair made of wires was archetype of a chair because it didn't contain any other elements that would add to the chairness of the chair. Bristling with vigor. He is the archetype of the modern global chief executive. Archetype. So, the book with those small letters is the archetype of what is wrong with books for reading. Archetypal. Archetypal means the same as archetypal. Archetypical. Archetypical is the same as archetypal. An archetypical BBC voice. An archetypical car of the future. Alright, archetypical. Archipelago. Nice, finally I'll learn what archipelago means. Archipelago is a group. An archipelago is a group of islands, especially small islands. Archipelago, wow, what a cool word. Archipelago, I have to remember that. An archipelago is a group of islands, especially small islands. Architect, archipelago. Cool, archipelago. Oh, something bit me. Crap. Oh no. Sucks. Alright. Architect. An architect is a person who designs buildings. Can use an architect to refer to a person who plans large projects such as landscaping or railways. Paul Andrew, chief architect of French railways. Noble was not an architect of Eiffel Tower. The architect of an idea, event, or institution is the person who invented it or made it happen. Russia's chief architect of economic reform. The writer is the architect of the imaginary world, which he constructs in a way that as he pleases. Architectural. Architectural means relating to the design and construction of buildings. Italy's architectural heritage, the unique architectural style of towns like Lamu. Architectural style of the houses is pretty lame in some parts of the world. They try to copy each other, and the creativity is mostly about just a freaking configuration of that house, which is pretty crappy architecturally. And the old city center is architecturally rich. Architecture, the higher up. Okay, so the top tip of the tower is architecturally interesting because it contains arches. Architecture. Architecture is the art of planning, designing, and constructing buildings. He studied classical architecture and design in Rome. Architecture students are often smart people, but there are notable exceptions. The architecture of a building is the style in which it is designed and constructed. A fine example of Moroccan architecture. Architecture of this room is very interesting because it borders on utilitarian and minimalist ideas, but when you enter, it would probably look pretty crowded with stuff. The architecture of something is its structure. The crumbling intellectual architecture of modern society. Wow, what a cool sentence. The crumbling intellectual architecture of modern society. The architecture of curriculum of elementary school in Australia is considered to be pretty strange, at least by me. Okay, archival. Archival means belonging or relating to archives. His extensive use of archival material. Archival, belonging to the archives. So the archival search systems are interesting, especially in the past where we did not have the access to computers. Archive. The archive or archives are a collection of documents and records that contain historical information. You can also use archives to refer to the place where archives are stored. The archives of the Imperial War Museum. The archives are hidden underneath the building. Archive material is information that comes from archives. Pieces of archive film. Archive books are often valued very highly. Archivist. Archivist. An archivist is a person whose job is to collect, sort, and care for historical documents and records. Archivist works in archives where he sorts and preserves old documents. Archway. The archway is a passage or entrance that has curved roof. Access was via narrow archway. An archway made of trees led into the garden. Arc light. Arc lights are a type of very bright electric light, a brilliant glare of the arc lights. Arc lights set the whole street alight. Arctic. The Arctic is the area of the world around the North Pole. It is extremely cold, and there is very little light in winter and very little darkness in summer. Winter in the Arctic. Arctic ice. Arctic area is usually cold and damp. If you describe a place or weather as Arctic, you are emphasizing that it is a place or the weather is Arctic, that it is extremely cold. The bathroom with its ancient facilities is positively Arctic. The Arctic garden had, instead of flowers and trees, ice and snow made structures. Arctic Circle. The Arctic Circle is an imaginary line drawn around the northern part of the world at approximately 66 degrees north. Arctic Circle has its equivalent in Antarctic Circle, which is drawn around southern part of the world at about 66 degrees south. Ardent. Ardent is used to describe someone who has extremely strong feelings about something or someone. He has been one of the most ardent supporters of the administration's policy. Ardent supporters. Okay, so she was known as ardent fighter for the ideas and the rights of humans. Okay. Order. Ada. This is Ada. And Ada is a strong, intense feeling of love or enthusiasm for someone or something. It's a literary word. Songs of genuine passion and ardor. The book was about ardor and enthusiasm of the little boy for playing soccer. Arduous. Something that is arduous is difficult and tiring and involving a lot of effort. The task was more arduous than he had calculated. The writing of the book was so arduous he had to quit halfway through and never got to finish the book. R is a plural and the second person singular of the present tense of the verb be. R is often shortened to re after pronounce in spoken English. Okay, R. We are the champions. We are the champions. We are the champions. Area. An area is a particular part of town, a country, a region, or the world. The large number of community groups in the area. She works in a rural area off the beaten track. The donkeys eat the grass in an area behind the house. Your area is the part of a town, country, or region where you live. An organization's area is the part of town, country or region that it is responsible for. Local authorities have been responsible for the running of schools in their areas. If there is an election in your area, you should go and vote. The cars in this area are usually yellow and have black license plates. Oh, because they are taxis and they stand on the street. A particular area is a piece of land or part of a building that is used for a particular activity. A picnic area, the main check-in area located in Terminal 1. An area of queuing where people queue for the coffee. An area is a particular place on a surface or object, for example on your body. You will notice that your baby has two soft areas on the top of his head. Old people have often arthritis in the area of elbows, knees and joints. Knuckles, perhaps. An area is a particular place on a surface or object. For example, on your body. You'll notice that, I read that one already. The area of a surface, such as a piece of land, is the amount of flat space or ground that it covers, measured in square units. The island cover area of 625.6 square kilometers. The area that is covered in the backyard is the area of 5 meters, where the house will stand. You can use area to refer to a particular subject or topic or to a particular part of a larger, more general situation or activity. The politically sensitive area of old age pensions. We discussed the area of crime in low-income neighborhoods. On a football pitch, the area is the same as the penalty area. Alright. Also catchment area, disaster area, grey area, penalty area. And collocations, area, so we have adjective plus area, residential area, rural area, urban area, isolated area, remote area, deprived area, disadvantaged area, huge area, large area, vast area, wide area. Good. Thank you very much. I'm going to read page 69 tomorrow.